goodness. Okay,
Good evening, everyone. We are going to begin our regular board meeting tonight. And we'll start with our board member roll call. Jenna Rickenbach.
Here.
Grace Landon. Here. Marissa Castorius here. Heidi Wintermute is here. And Jeanette Sampson is out tonight. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the Astoria School District, our vision is to strive for a learning environment that partners with the community to fully prepare lifelong learners to thrive in a complex world. Our mission is to engage with students, families, staff, and community members as we provide accessible, relevant, and meaningful educational experiences. And item 2 is our community and student recognition. I believe we have a student recognition tonight, Mr. Jackson.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, I would actually ask Mr. Finnegan Gazelle, if you'd be so kind as to come up here with me. So I'm going to rely on what I know and what I understand. And swimming is not that. I'm not a good swimmer. In fact, if I really want a good workout, I'm sure if I went swimming, it'd be an amazing workout because I'm so slow and inefficient in that process. This man is not that. He's incredibly good at what he does, and I wanted to provide a little bit of context in what I do know. So I was the head track coach here for 10 years, and what I realized in trends is that typically the best marks of the season happened at the district championship meet. There was a heightened level of energy and excitement that allows students to perform at that level without overwhelming pressure that oftentimes happens in the state meet environment. Finnegan Gazelle didn't seem to matter whether it was the district meet or the state meet. He continued to perform at high levels beyond anything that Astoria High School has ever seen. There are 8 separate individual competitions in swim. Finnegan now has 4 of Astoria High School's individual school records in those respective events. You want to name those 4? What are the 4 that you have?
I have the 100 fly, the 50 free, 100 free, and 100 back. Those are new ones.
So a variety as well, as you take a look at what you just shared with us. So as the season was wrapping up, one of the things that really is impressive, and it may not sound like much, but Finnegan ended up swimming a 22.02 in the 53 at the state championship swim. What's yours? This like.
Oh, gosh, no. I can barely swim 25. That's
So that's a down and back in 22 seconds.
That's insane.
Now, what's also impressive to me is that the second place finisher swam a 22.48. Now you may say, well, that was just under half a second difference. Half a second in a sprint is an incredible margin of victory.
Yeah.
And so what he was able to accomplish in that race is truly, truly impressive. As well as later on the day, I think you ended up getting a 4th place medal in the 100 butterfly. So we wanted to take a moment to talk about those accomplishments, really emphasize how impressive those accomplishments truly are, and recognize Mr. Finnegan Gazelle as the first Oregon State swimming champion for Astoria High School. Congratulations. With the school board about that experience.
I want to thank you guys for letting Paul come back. He's honestly probably the biggest reason I was able to do this. Great coach, and if you could pass those words on to him.
Can I share something?
Yeah.
I swam my whole life year round until I was 18. Maybe I started with 8. And the fact that you did it without, most kids that are swimming at that level, and butterfly is like a grueling race at that, but swimming at that level are involved in a club. And he worked out on his own here. I mean, being from a rural community, I mean, that is serious discipline. When I heard that you didn't swim for a club, I was like, holy cats, because all the kids that you're competing against have coaches, have teammates, have, schedules and all of that, and you did that on your own. I'm like incredibly impressed with that. It's amazing. Yeah, 22 is not good, I don't even know.
Beat you by what, 0.2 seconds?
I was only
Just barely.
29, I'm back to, but, yeah, that's so fast.
And again, what grade are you in?
Senior.
You're senior, so do you think you'll swim in college, or what's your plan?
Right now, the plan's Coast Guards.
Okay, a rescue swimmer?
Makes sense. Would you like a photo? Can we get a photo? I have a feeling so. And then you don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. I don't know anything else.
Okay, item 3 is our student representative, Isabella.
Okay. The first thing I had on my thing was about Finn. So yeah, the swim team attended the state swimming championships a few weeks back, and they had a great meet. I believe they also brought 2 relay teams to state with improved finishes, and as you heard, Finn had great success. Hazel Towsey French as well. She also set 3 personal best times in the 500-yard freestyle race, and she finished in 11th place. Hazel said it was such a rewarding experience and so cool to see Finn become the first swim state champ in real time. Spring sports have kicked off and our numbers are looking good for teams. My dance team is now prepping for state, Zaz, and that's coming up next weekend. We're competing 1 through 4A hip hop and jazz. The season so far has been looking good. Our hip hop is undefeated, and then we have our jazz routine doing pretty well as well. And we'll perform our routines next Wednesday for our send-off assembly. Juniors and seniors from Astoria High School attended the Clatsop County Career Fair on Tuesday the 11th. There are over 60 employer booths ready to hire, and students had the opportunity to explore different types of jobs and what type of schooling or training needed to compete for them. The career fair also offered professional resume feedback and mock interview sessions and a raffle. The AHSSI, or the Astoria High School Scholarship Inc. applications for seniors were due this past Friday, and we had over 140 kids apply. That is shattering the record for applicants, the number of applicants. Each high school senior is promised at least $2,000 in grant money, so that's pretty cool. The scholarship interviews for this will be held April 21st through the 24th. Astoria hosted our band festival on March 6th. 17 3A and 4A bands competed as they began their road to state championship later this year. Mr. Cherardino's painting and drawing classes have their first round of staff portraits hanging in the commons, and those are pretty cool. You can see them up top. And then we also have the state FFA competition coming up next weekend, 20th through the 21st. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, item 4 is our consent agenda, and this is an action item.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That carries. Item 5 is our reports, and we'll start with our administrator reports.
I'm actually gonna talk about something that they're not gonna talk about this time, childcare. So, in Astoria, we have really limited childcare, and then Soar With Us also shut like on Friday, and people have had to scramble to find childcare for Monday. It was really stressful, especially for single parents, you know, people going to school. And Parks and Rec absorbed, a lot of those people from Soar With Us. And I didn't know what you knew about Parks and Rec after school. We have 50 kids, after school. And, it's been great. We've had no issues, and it's nice for our kids because it's not one more transition. They just go downstairs, Parks and Rec picks them up, and then they have our playground and our underground play. So that's been really nice. Also, I just wanted to kind of update you on, I had meetings today with Randy Rasmussen for attendance, and she's been doing good work with us. She's been working really hard and trying to get her kids to school.
I will second that about Randy Rasmussen. She has really honed in on some students that have been struggling, parents that are struggling getting their kids to school, and I really value her as she's doing this really good work. This week we are in the midst of the dental sealants program in our building. They're pulling kids and providing that service, which is amazing. Fourth grade swim lessons are continuing. We have 2 more groups, 2 more teachers working through their sessions at the swimming pool, which is what we're really grateful for. Sitka Art is going to all the classrooms through the month of March, and we're working through that one, and it's going well. They were outside with Polaroid cameras, and I'm not quite sure what's happening on the other end of that, but they're loving it. You see them like really honing in on, little objects out there, so that's cool looking. Our log structure is finally completed, and it's really neat out there. So if you get a chance to go back the playground, the yard, while you have the family has come and just helped and put the donation of those logs is amazing, and they're gigantic, and the kids are loving it, so super fun. Then lastly, we're sending a team to the Oregon Battle of the Books on Saturday. I believe it's in Hillsborough, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you. So we're gonna, Oregon Wiltshire instruction coach is taking a group down there, and they're going to be competing in our regional competition. Thank you.
In the middle school, I want to start out with pointing out around the room, this is all middle school art that our kids have produced, and Mr. Thompson has helped to, I guess, teach technique and does delegate and that kind of stuff. And if you don't know who Mr. Thompson is, you can see him in the movie. He kind of looks like a jolly, like hippie Santa. At the beginning of the month, our orchestra and choir got to participate in an annual festival, and it's always beneficial to them to do that ensemble work with other conductors and other ensembles. So that was very successful. We just finished up our winter sports. We had a lot of learning and success wins with our girls basketball, and we had double the number our wrestling group, and we had a really, really strong wrestling show, and one of our kids qualified for state, so we're super excited about that. And I can't believe we're going into spring break already, but we're going to start up after spring break with our track program, and typically we run about 150 kids, so we're pretty excited about that. I meet with the coaches this week. And the last thing that I wanted to say was our 6th graders next week are going to go to the Liberty Theater to see A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it's going to be a good experience for them, but that's also sponsored by the Assistance League. So we're excited about it.
So beginning on Friday, we have our first meeting in which we start an intensive review of present seniors on track to graduate. Now that doesn't mean we haven't not had contact with them up to this point. We have over 200 documented interventions, but over the course of the next 2.5 months, we will probably have another 600 to 700 documented interventions with these students. But I wanted to give you some details on this particular class. One, it's an enormously large class. But right now, we are sitting at a situation where 7 of them have already graduated. They graduated with the cohort of 2024. And on Monday, with Sophia Ramos, we celebrated our first graduate of the class of 2025 in this academic year, with 2 more that are projected to graduate this upcoming Monday. So those who are going through ACA are graduating as they complete their senior projects and do their presentations. I know that many of us in this room have sat in on those presentations over the last few days. So those are quickly starting to progress. One of the things I'm most excited about, as counselors have taught me, is this concept of hope and expectancy, that they have a hope for next steps. And what Ms. Poe shared is incredibly powerful. Just to give you some comparative data about Astoria High School Scholarship Inc. applications, in 2023, we had 80 applications. 2022, we had 80 applications. 2023, we had 76 applications. 2024, we had our all-time record of 119 applications. And this year's cohort has 142 applications. So what's exciting about that is that's 142 students that believe they're going to make it. And that's exciting. And that doesn't include those who know they have no interest in seeking post-secondary formal training in a community college, a trade school, or university. They may be going into the to the military or directly into the workforce. So I'm really excited about the number of students that we have that are still with the hope and expectancy that they're going to graduate in June. So we're excited to see what the next couple months bring.
So Mr. Rowe is at, training, so he's excused tonight. Stephanie, you can.
I've been doing all things integrated habits. But we also have health testing going on right now for the students, and state testing will start in April and May. That's coming up. I spent the day in Salem with our Title I teachers, and we're really looking at our intervention system and our response intervention system and improving it. And I'm taking our TAG coordinators to Hillsborough Farm for a full day of TAG training. So that's pretty exciting.
We've been fixing a lot of power outage issues that we've had the last couple of weeks. We'll like Morse code at the middle school. Monday, I got a video of it, and like all the lighting systems are all screwed up, so we're gonna be working on it out of the spring break. And we've had a couple of switchboard breaks. Luckily, we got a lot of overstock from construction still, and we're just replacing it. Oh God, so okay.
And Mr. Kelly and Ms. Hageman were excused tonight. They've been pulling some pretty significant double duty as far as just coverage, people not feeling well and covering gaps in building to building. Maybe I can give you the details. It's pretty impressive. So we've been just impressive.
Things of significant illness going around. Trying to find good services and transportation and custodian services, just, it's hard.
Okay. 5B is district equity committee update. Do we have any further discussion on that? Okay. 5C is our finance report.
Finances are going well this year. I mean, we're spending a level that we're supposed to be. Our revenue is coming in like it's supposed to be. And I've been really focusing on keeping our cash flow as healthy as possible. Just with so many unknowns in the future. So I'm trying to claim grants as soon as we can. Anything? You guys have any questions?
Thank you. 5D is our enrollment report.
We increased 3 students, but we are still in overall downward trend. The class size numbers still.
That's good. All right. 5E is gifts to the district. From Purple Cow Toys, AHS Student Services donation of stuffed toys for the approximate value of $99. From Nuremberg, AMS CTE class donation laser cutter in the amount of $4,875. And from Astoria Pig and Pancake, AHS donation pancake batter in the amount of $800 for a current total of $5,774 and a year-to-date total of $13,083. Thank you to all of our generous donors, yeah. Your face. Okay, item 6, patron comments and questions. Marissa, do we have any? Okay. Item 7 is information. And item 8 is unfinished business. Policy GDCA, GDBA, criminal background checks and fingerprinting, second reading. Do we have any discussion on that policy? And if there is none, then it is an action item.
I'll move to approve policy GDCA, GDDA, criminal background checks and fingerprinting.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that carries. Item 9 is new business. We have 1, 2, 3 first readings. Does anyone have any questions or comments on those? None? Does anybody want them described?
I would, I know you're looking, but you offered some recommendations as far as our student representation. Is that accurately captured with what you desire?
So those will come back to us next month for second reading. 9D is our 2024-2025 academic calendar amendment approval.
So since we last, met, we've had 2 more days that were full cancellation, not just the delays. So looking at the calendar, and the potential of adding back the full 4 days, which the snow days did 2, and then the 2 additional days would be canceling spring conferences for both secondary, which would be earlier than the elementary was going to do the end of the year spring conferences, and then moving the teacher workday from that Friday in June to the following Monday. So, I explained it, the cost and what we're giving up for the school days, but it is a decision depending on what you're thinking. If you have questions or would like some conversation about that.
And that final half day, is that flexible? It seems like in the past we've had, days we have to make up, and then there's some that are.
When you say the final day, are you talking the final day for students or the final day for
Final
staff?
day for students, but the 13th or.
Yeah, it would make, instead of having a half day on that Thursday, the students would go a half day on that Friday.
Mhm. And we need to do that to meet legal obligations.
The elementary, class time, that wouldn't be required. In the secondary, I think we would be still within our limits.
It would give a chance for classified to repeat.
It would give our class kind of recoup a day, and it would, the teachers would then be filling the number of contracted days.
Mhm.
Are there any concerns from admin about canceling spring conferences for any of the buildings?
It's a bit problematic because we have one conference. I mean, if you have a 5 building and one conference, it's a little tricky. However, I think we tried conferences this way this year, and I did not like them. And I think it was a lot of my idea, just that it didn't work very well. Felt a little late into January. And, yeah, we were gonna do them a little different, where it was kind of like 4 kids at once. They come through, show the parents their bros, show them the writing sample, show them the reading progress, that sort of thing. But there's two camps. One saying it's too late, there's nothing for parents to do at that point anyways, which wasn't the purpose of that. And the other is, you know, let's celebrate the child and show the growth. So it's just hard because we have one complex basically. I mean, beginning of the year is just get to know your teacher, feel comfortable with school. So we have one conference. So I feel uncomfortable with it, but I understand why that decision would be made too. It's not a hill I would die on, but I just wish we could have met with parents more. I think that needs to change.
I just heard some feedback about that being right at graduation as well, so like for next year's planning, maybe.
So,
not right at-
yeah, it's not at graduation, but like graduation parties happen that day. We avoided baccalaureate, but I think any day you pick, someone's gonna be not happy with whatever it is. And it was a change for staff, and so it's uncomfortable changes at times. But, I want to find a way to celebrate what kids have accomplished. I mean, if you think of a kindergarten, they walk in without knowing the first, number and letter, and they're reading at the end of the year, that's something to really, that's a big accomplishment. So, that's.
The largest concern that I have is, as I alluded to earlier, making sure I have communication and clear plans moving forward for those seniors that are not on track to graduate. We could use those during that time period, those slots for conferences. But that's something that we can arrange outside of that time period to make that happen if necessary.
Let's say in Wilson Park, the conference I'd be least concerned with is the Jesus one. And I too would like to make sure that we get 3 solid conferences in, well, the following year, but I don't know if this is the way it goes.
So some of the informal conversation that I've had with each building is brainstorming around ways that we can still ensure some kind of celebration. Be it, like your taco party. How many tacos did you have that year?
We have 900 people at that party.
Yeah,
Neighborhood parties.
it was a party. Mr. Jackson and I have discussed using different opportunities such as early release or scheduling, appointment conferences, almost like the pattern that we have done with with our IEP meetings this year of possibly looking at a rotation that way. And then, as always, communicating with our families that if you have a need, please let us know and we will schedule something. Because there are students that each building wants to connect with individually, that there might be a need that we're not aware of. And making sure that a parent knows if you need to have a conversation with a English teacher or a math teacher. So we've been brainstorming some ways to try to shore up opportunities for that communication if the dates are. Thank you.
Only other alternative is to go into the next week, correct? Yeah. So.
This is an action item.
I will move to approve the 2024-2025 academic calendar amendment.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That carries. 9E, license and administrative contract recommendations, ORS 342513. This is an action item.
I'll move to approve the license and administrative contract recommendations or ORS 342513.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that carries. Item 9F, integrated guidance approval. And this is an action item.
I'll move to approve the integrated guidance.
A second.
Any further discussions?
Was it for its increase?
No, Jenna.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, and that carries. Item 10, comments for the good of the order. Acting superintendent?
So believe it or not, it's been a month. And it's been a really, when I think back over the very first day, you remember that, snow day? I'm learning all sorts of, and, it's an interesting opportunity to use my brain in a different way. There's things that I like and that are really challenging, and then there are things that I really, really miss. I do want to say thank you so much to the district office staff. They have been so kind and helpful and patient and supportive. So thank you. And then to the admin team, all the support and help and feedback that you give me, I appreciate so much. And our staff as a whole when I go into the buildings. So everybody is helping make sure I'm being successful. So thank you again for having faith in me, and we've made it a month. Okay?
Yeah.
I do want to share something that I thought was really exciting. I just got this notification today. If you recall, earlier in the year, we honored the Assistance League, and they came and did a presentation for us. And they were asking, what other things could we do? How could we help in areas that we might not be aware of? They are launching a pilot program to where going through our counseling departments is what I'm looking at for how we would roll it out. And then I'm assuming that it would be similar at the high school level. And then with the elementaries potentially through your council, but a laundromat voucher program where it's all set up. It will start, it's a $30 value. The laundromat's a partnership with them, all those kinds of things. I thought that was super cool that this will be something that they are gonna be able to help our kids with, because that can be a huge barrier. The drawback is the closest bus stop is 5 but that's not that far, right? So I just found out about this today and I thought it was great, and I wanted to share back with you guys that that is something that is gonna happen for our students and families. So that's all I have.
All right, Mindy?
We would like to thank Linda for stepping in. We all miss friends, but we appreciate, we know now where to go find, if we are missing her for a little bit, we know where to go find her. She's migrated to some children. But we appreciate her very much. Big plug is we need substitutes. So I know with spring starting, we have new families coming in the shift. Please, if you know of someone that might want a part-time job, you can contact us, have them contact us, and we'll put them in touch with ESS. ESS, our third party that handles it. They had a open house today. They really don't know, how that went, but we could use it. All the schools could use it. And then the last thing is, I will have the audit for you at the next meeting in April. Just securing someone to speak to you. All right, that's it.
Jenna?
I was excited to hear about Finn and his goal to go into the Coast Guard to be a rescue story. I think that's pretty awesome. Got to help with the postcard signing, and I'm told that they're not going out till spring break-ish. So if anybody was able to do have some postcards. I'm sure there are more available and a list of. And graduation, is coming up, and just to put I guess a plug in, I've had probably 15 people talk to me about graduation ceremony, and so just conveying that, some of them I think, have had children graduate prior, and so the concern of walking with their children up to the graduation, and some of them in the past, I guess, have felt uncomfortable when they have other friends who have split families and things and awkward situations. And so anyway, I guess kids have felt empathy for their friends and stuff who have some just different circumstances. And yeah, they're concerned about that and seating. So I didn't know, I just wanted to share that because it seems like a good amount of people who shared that. So maybe something to think about, but I don't know how to situate. So I don't know, also brought up, families watching their students are either in the hot sun with people on umbrellas or the rain with umbrellas and can't see. So anyway, if you have any ideas. Otherwise, it's been a good month, and thanks for pitching in and doing a good job. Thank you. That's it.
I will echo those accolades to Finn. This is crazy. And I will also say that from what Kate said, that kid is there like outside of practice. I mean, I swim in the morning at 6 a.m. and he's there. I swim in the afternoon at 4 p.m. and he's there. So like, it's putting in the work, and it obviously is paid off. So, and it's impressive. Like, that's flying fast. Can't even drive a car that fast. Can't even run that fast. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, so yeah. And then the only other thing was that seed data survey. That's some good information, and a large population of our student body took that. And I feel like utilizing some of that for student voice and really diving into some of that would be so, I don't know how to use it. But like, just feel like that's a good data source, and like we should utilize some of that information because we don't get surveys like that. So just gonna put that out there and leave that up to you. So.
The nice thing is they'll be taking it again this spring. And
Uh-huh.
We will be able to
Yeah.
kind of keep track of growth. So
Yeah. But
Last year was the first year done.
last year was the first year it was required.
yeah. This
I can share the full
yeah.
slide deck with Linda. She can share it with you if you're curious to see all of it.
Yeah, I just would be interested to see, like, especially with how it lines up with some of the stuff in the strategic plan. Anyway, because okay, that's it.
No, congrats to Finn. I'm just as good at swimming as Mr. Jackson is, so. 20 seconds for him, 20 minutes one way for me. No, that is crazy, and I applaud him. And I got to go to the high school for a whole day. I was there, my best behavior. Talk to seniors and some freshmen about a career, like, after high school, which I actually really liked because it was like, kind of giving them options. Like, not everybody has to go to four-year college. You can still be very successful in life, whatever way you go about it. And I was really actually excited to be there because I think out of the panel of people, I was the only one that didn't do the traditional way. So that was kind of nice to have, like, kids know, like, hey, like, there's other ways and other things, and you can get where you want. So that was fun, knowing people in the community who, are, doing great things. So that was great. And yeah, I'm just excited for spring break, which is right around the corner. Thanks, Linda, for all you're doing. Keep it up.
I want to thank the middle school art students for our lovely art. It's so fun to look at them every time it changes. I'm always like staring around the room instead of listening. And on the art subject, I also got to attend Charlie's one of the Sitka art classes, and it was so awesome to see like her rapport with the students is amazing, and Charlie's teacher loved it. So I think it's a really good program. I had fun volunteering in it. And then thank you to Melissa for organizing our postcard event. I also went, I must have missed you, Jenna. I went yesterday too, but I was at the beginning. I might take some more postcards because I could only stay for an hour. And I didn't get as many done as I wanted. And thank you to the email that you sent out to staff as well about the Oregon Ways and Means Committee that's coming during spring break on Friday night at the Liberty. Which. Yeah. So,
Do they really want to hear from people?
they're doing a budget, what is it? Roadshow, a budget roadshow. I know Mr. Hoppus is already signed up to testify at it. If you want to speak at it, you have to sign up ahead of time. So, or you can just show up and show your support, but I plan to be there. It's Friday, the 28th, from 5 to 7 at the Liberty Theater.
I'll be out of town.
Yeah, it's spring break, so it's not like the best time for us. Yeah. Anyways.
There's an online option. Well, come in virtually for our local show.
And thank you, Linda, of course. Don't worry, do it.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, our future meetings, Wednesday, April 9th, our next board and study session at 5:45, board meeting at 7. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.